I'm going to be building a starter home with base game only just to see how nice we can actually make it. I do this every so often. Building starter homes themselves is quite a challenge to make them look as nice as possible. So it's always fun to do, especially with base game only. So I'm excited to see how far I can take this. Of course, I'm going to be using debug and live edit so we can use stuff for free like landscaping. So that way we don't have to spend anything on the outside. We can use decorative plants and all that. So I just moved into this lot in Willow Creek with Samaj. We got 17,500. That's our money because obviously we had to pay for the lot itself. So we lose a little bit there. And in case you don't know, I'm using a mod to access this option here where it says live edit. That's basically the items you see in the world. So then you can access these items pretty easily. And you'll see that they often have a price of $0. Sometimes they have a name, sometimes they don't. But that means I can put this tree down and not spend any money. Obviously those are too big, it looks a little silly, but that's how we can do landscaping for free. Now, if you don't have that mod or if you're on console, you can access those as well by opening up the cheat window, bb.show hidden objects, and then bb.show live edit objects. And then this in the catalog will load in all of those items as well. And if you can't see everything, because not all of them show up in the catalog, if you type into the search window, debug, and we just do a text search for debug, then that will bring it all up here in the catalog. You can sort of scroll through. It's not organized. That's where the mod makes it a lot easier to find stuff, but you can still access it too. All right, with that out of the way, I would like, is it possible? Wait, how big is this? If I go there, okay. The thing is, as soon as the walls are gonna be one of the most expensive things. We do that, it's 2,600, not too bad. I was thinking, can we do a 2-story home that is just like a cute little, well, that's pretty big actually, but like a cute, almost, I wanna say cottage, but obviously not cottage feel. Well, kind of like that. Anyway, this is way too big. This looks kind of crazy. But yeah, like I would just want to do something pretty simple. Because one thing I see with starter homes is people want them to be able to be easily edited as well. It is literally a starter home, so we don't want to build everything in it because that's literally not the point of it. So I'm gonna start with this. I don't think that's my final size at all. I just want to get the scale of stuff right. So let's get out some stairs. We're basically just gonna choose the cheapest ones. So one thing that's kind of confusing if you don't really understand how it works is the pricing of stairs. You're like, oh, this is $5. Okay. I place it and it's like, oh, wait, I'm spending $536. So that price is actually the cost of one step, which is kind of weird. But then even still, how does that then, if that's the cost of each step, add up to $536? That doesn't make any sense. It should be $60. For whatever reason, I don't know what the reason is. The walls underneath stairs cost so much money. And the way you can get to that, what should be $60 set of stairs is deleting the wall. So now this is only gonna cost us $60, which we can see is if I delete this, we get $60 back. If I put it back, $60. So that's where our $5 per stair comes in. So all these little things we want to pay attention to. And the crazy thing about that, if we even have a foundation like this, and I place these stairs, you can see they still cost $370, which on a very tight budget is nuts. So that costs that much money. So if we delete that, these stairs are only going to cost a fraction of that, which I think, what is it in this case? It's gonna be $30. It's a little bit more because we have this extra bit of stair here. So yeah, those are the kind of things we're gonna be paying attention to. Having said that, I think a foundation makes a house look more interesting. So we may use it, we'll see. But let's go back to the actual structure. So I'm gonna find the middle of this building, which in this case is not that hard because it's not that big. The middle is right here. But if I'm trying to find the middle of a structure and it's a weird shape or a weird size, I will sometimes, there's a couple ways to do it. In this case, it's a rectangle. So we could just drag a wall across. We can see it's gonna cost us 720 simoleons for the whole thing. So you can just divide that by 2, get down to 360, or you can just sort of partially drag in from the side. Let's say 300 there, and then 300 there, then we can clearly see this is the middle. So then we could just do that and then we know that's the middle. So that's sort of a way to find the middle. I guess, again, in this case, it's not that hard. So yeah, I just wanted to put the door in the middle. That's all I wanted to do. I don't know exactly how I want to do it, but let's just say this for now. Let's get those stairs out of the way. I do think this is a very nice front door, so I think I want to use that. It's a little too narrow, having the hallway like right up to it, so we're not going to do that. We're just using the door as like a visual marker of where stuff is going to go. I think what I'm going to do is actually move the stairs out of the foyer so that they're going to be enclosed in other walls of the build. Now, interestingly, the cost of the stair walls is actually the exact same as enclosing it like this. So you might think, okay, well then that whole thing, we might as well just leave the wall on the stairs underneath, right? But if we had that underneath the stairs, we're spending double the price to then have walls around it because we're paying for the walls around it and we're paying for the wall on the stairs. So it is still worth, if you're on a budget, removing the wall underneath if you're gonna have rooms around it like this, if that makes sense. Otherwise, we're gonna be double paying for it. Anyway, so what I wanna do is I'm thinking we're gonna have the stairs there. I'm thinking if we close this area off, I'm gonna make this little foyer, well, it's pretty big actually. I'm gonna make this foyer a lot smaller. Maybe even only 2 deep because the house is pretty big. Then I'm thinking this can be sort of a living area. I'm thinking the kitchen's over here and then this could be like a dining room, like a small little dining room. The kitchen I actually want to make a little bit bigger. So I'm going to push it back like that. And this is all before we're considering budget. So we'll come back to the budget. If we need to make changes, we will. Then that leaves this sort of knockout space here, which I'm thinking could be a downstairs bathroom, powder room, that kind of thing. And I think in the interest of saving money, I might actually shift some of these walls around because you can see that there is a lot of walls going on here. If I open this up, we can save $120, but then it makes the foyer really long. So why don't we instead move everything over a little bit, move the stairs here. That in turn makes that room bigger. The foyer is now still the same size. We could even maybe do an asymmetrical entrance rather than it being right in the middle. I don't know if that's gonna work because I haven't done any of the windows yet, so I might leave that in the middle for now. But I might even change this wall here. This actually saves money, saves $60. Do a diagonal, which in this case probably makes more sense anyway with the orientation of this room. And then I think I'll move the wall for the kitchen from here to there. So it's still got this sort of little indent area, and then we'll move this along, which doesn't cost any more, surprisingly. That's the exact same price as this. So we can actually just get more room in here for free. And I still wanted the kitchen to push out a bit. So then we have like this kitchen area, probably, I guess kitchen, maybe a little breakfast, like table, dining area, and then that'll be living space, and that's our downstairs bathroom, which I think is a nice layout. Now, moving upstairs, we gotta be careful how much we're spending up here. We have the stairs coming up here. I guess the question is how much do we want to cram in up here, right? So we could do a main bedroom there, then they could have an ensuite bathroom there, pretty big. In fact, that's probably too big. Let's make it a little smaller. Main bedroom, ensuite bathroom. I'm gonna use these lights just to actually see what we're doing because so far we've not had any lighting. So we could leave a pretty big landing if we wanted, because I guess an easy way to do bedrooms up here would be to do this. We get 2 bedrooms there, and then we could just add a bathroom right here at the end of the hallway, and then that'll be done. In fact, I might do that and actually make the ensuite bathroom one smaller, and then the main bathroom can be one wider. And then we have all this space up here, which I think is good, because you could easily add more rooms up here. Like if I did this, you could pull it out, and then you have another room. And like it's easy to expand, which is something that we do want to do in this build. Leaving this side of the hallway here means you could expand it backwards if you had an extension up there. And I like this sticking out so we can hopefully create a division between the levels of the roof where it looks a little bit more interesting. So we have a super simple layout. I only have $8,000 left though. So I think we actually may need to scale down some of the building, which is totally fine. I think if we bring in this upper level, as nice as it is to have like an ensuite bathroom, I don't know if we're gonna be able to afford that. Though accommodating for it in the floor plan is not a bad idea. So we could potentially even just dress this up maybe as a nursery, but then you could convert it into a bathroom. Because otherwise, I don't think I'm gonna be able to afford 3 bathrooms worth of items, you know? Okay, well, let's see what we can do with roofing. Thankfully, roofing is free, so we can have fun with this. Beautiful. Yeah, that's great. All right, let's bring this down. Now, I don't think we have, do we even have any dormers in base game? I don't think so. But if we had dormers, they would appear in this category. They're pretty expensive. Like even actually all these like chimneys and stuff are super expensive too. We can save money by not using this stuff. We can add like dormers by using roof pieces ourselves. And these are free. So we can just do something like that. I don't know if I love that, but anyway, I'm just placing it in there for now. Above the door, I'm gonna get rid of those. Above the door, I definitely want some sort of roof here, whether it's like a piece like that maybe. I'm not sure yet. But thankfully, adding more floor space underneath is totally free, so we can do that. We definitely want some sort of landing here. Now, I said earlier that even adding stairs onto this is gonna be pretty expensive. So something we could potentially do is I can put stairs, I can remove it then, it's 136. We can avoid stairs altogether if we just lower the house down to only 1 step high and we still get that sort of raise off the ground and then we don't need steps at all. And that means we also don't need as much of a landing so I can bring it back in a little bit. I don't know if I'm loving the look of this, but we're just experimenting at this point. Columns are also pretty expensive, especially these ones. The Happy Birthday Classic ones that match the door, not too bad, but that's still $100. But that does definitely make it feel more grand. Now, because I did add this section, well, I reduced the upstairs level. I don't know if that was actually really worth it. We did it, but it only saves well, 180 simoleons. So maybe we'll go back to full width and see if that's okay. If we can afford it, it's definitely gonna be worth it. Now, speaking of things that are free, we can do a back deck, totally free. I don't want it to be huge because this house is by no means huge. I'm thinking, 3 deep is probably good. And then that means we can grab our roof and basically just mirror what we did on the front. I kind of like that extra set of roof tiles there, all the way back. So we can get the same sort of balcony going on. All right, so I think we're gonna have to maybe, this house is massive. I'm hoping we can do it. We don't have a lot of money, but I think we can do something here. Mind you, we don't have windows, we don't have doors, we don't have wallpaper. So this could be a stretch. It's just kind of seeing how much we can do with our budget. It's kind of fun. Well, what if we reduce this side of the building and the other side? So we do both. Okay. Then we have that roof coming all the way through, which kind of solves the big flat wall on the side. Okay, that kind of works. I don't know what's going on back here though. The alignment of the roof is kind of weird. I might just redo that. That's all right. Okay, and I might actually further, so I don't think this will be the main room anymore because it's quite small. I was gonna say, I might actually further reduce this down. We're gonna make the top level a lot smaller. So all these bedrooms are actually now the same size. In fact, I'm gonna do that. So the bathroom's a bit smaller. And then I think we will, maybe this will still be the main bedroom now that it's the same size. It will be small though. Can we, in fact, let me rework this up a floor plan because I wanna we need at least probably a 4x4 for the main bedroom, just to comfortably fit a double bed in the middle of a room. Okay, I ended up going back to the full width of the house because I guess it wasn't that much more money, but we'll see how we go. We may, again, still need to cut back. We are very low on cash. I'm going around now trying to do doors and windows. Our options are pretty limited. I'm trying to go for the cheapest ones that, still look decent. In fact, we might even go for this cheaper wooden door. At least maybe upstairs, because we can save $10 a door, which is not nothing. I would love to use more archways. The problem is all the archways, like this one, $200. It also doesn't fit for some reason. It should, maybe the light. It should, yeah. It's not nothing, but it seems like a lot of money to cut a hole in a wall when we could just do this and save money. But it just doesn't look as good. So hopefully we can try and make that work. I'm not totally sure. We'll see what happens. But for now, I'm just gonna get rid of that wall. But the idea is that this could eventually be an ensuite, or it could be like a nursery, that kind of thing. So back downstairs, I'm gonna save money. I'm not gonna use that door. Let's use the cheaper doors. They don't look as good, but every bit of saving is a bit of saving. Now, I think I might splurge here. We could do an archway. Actually, if I use this one, this is only $50. Same price. It is technically a 2-tile archway, but it should still fit here with the move object cheat, even though it technically doesn't, but it definitely looks nicer. It's the same price. Well, it's $10 more than that door, so not too bad. And I kind of want to do the same to the kitchen area, or maybe from the kitchen to the dining area. I'm gonna do kitchen to the dining area like that, so you can sort of see through. But to the living space, I might just use another door. Might move this. A lot of doors on this wall, it's not ideal. And I don't really want to add the door to the bathroom in the entrance because there's a lot of stuff here. I actually want to put like a little table there, assuming we can afford it. So I think the door has to go here. I don't really want the door to the bathroom in the kitchen. So I think we can maybe put it there and then have like, I don't know, something there. I don't know if we can afford something there, but that's the idea. All right, with that, we've got the doors and windows and everything we need to start decorating and furnishing. I think one thing that would be nice to add that I don't think we have the money for is a fireplace on this side of the building. What I would do is, if I had more budget, was something like this. Either just build our own fireplace, or then on the top level, you plonk this on top of it, and then just paint that brick and, match it all up. That'd be a nice addition. I don't think we're gonna be able to afford that, so we're gonna leave that off for now. Okay, so flooring-wise, right now, all our flooring costs 0 simoleons, because this type of flooring is free. So if we can utilize this anywhere else, it's gonna be worth it. Maybe the bathroom, I think we could do like a lighter, sort of more sandy color in the bathroom might work. I might do the same up here. That's free. I'm gonna take the savings where I can get it. The cheapest wood flooring is $4, and I think that is just the cheapest flooring as well as 4. It's either 4 or free, I think, right? I'm just checking. Yeah, so $4 is the cheapest, which is fine by me, because these all look pretty good. So basically up to this one, and then it gets more expensive. I think I might use a carpet. I don't often utilize carpets, but maybe we will today. I don't know if this is the color I'm using. That's just what I've put down at the moment. That's kind of like a greeny color. I might actually do something different up here. I'm not sure, but for now, we're just gonna do that. Okay, down to $7,000. Not bad. Wallpaper choices. We can go, I think, as cheap as $2, and then it starts getting more expensive. So we're gonna need to go as cheap as possible here. Wallpapers get expensive very quickly. I think our option is basically gonna be, yeah, wood gets more expensive. I've got to do the outside of the house too, hey. We'll figure that out later. Ooh, siding is $4 starting price. Dang, okay. I could do dirt. That's 2. All right, no, let's go back here. So if I want to trim, I can use these 3 for like skirting and crown. Well, for skirting and crown, I can use these 3 ones here. So those are pretty good choices, honestly. I actually quite like this bluey color with that wood floor. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this everywhere. That's just what I'm doing now. Although it does actually look quite nice. Hang on. It does actually kind of work. I don't want to go blue and blue. That is that is not going to work. We could do a white carpet, but that always, I don't know, white carpet to me seems like a real risk. We could do a darker carpet, that's possible. Yeah, look, it's an option. I do like this blue color. I think I might use that as my main color. And then maybe the bedrooms, we can do a variety of others like we always do. Maybe that's kind of boring, but we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, that's subject to change. But now that leaves us at a point where we have, well, I haven't done the bathrooms yet, but we have basically 7,300 to do everything else, right? I kind of like this blue to go with our blue walls. I'm not going to do it on every wall. I think it depends where I'm going to put like the shower and stuff. Like we'll tile behind like the shower or whatever. I just think it's kind of a fun blue. We'll come back to that though. I guess I got to do the outside too. A brick would be nice. Brick gets expensive pretty quick. Like these ones already get up to $5, whereas this one's 2. But I don't know if these ones look as nice. I do wish that these windows would have like a wooden swatches to them, but the best swatch for them is probably just a white swatch. Like this door has lovely, like if I could use these woods on all the windows and matching elements, I would. I could do it on these, but not on any of these, even though they're all technically the same set. I don't know why they did that. It's kind of annoying. But I guess if we're doing blue theme, we could do a blue door. That's kind of, well, what if we did red brick on the ground floor? How much is that going to run me? We do that, and then I'm thinking we do siding up top, right? The siding is pretty expensive as well. I think it's actually, oh, it's $1 cheaper than the bricks. You know what? I never used gray bricks, but I actually think it looks better than doing the red brick. Like the red and the blue, I don't think is really working for me. But I actually quite like the look of that. I might try that. And I think with like landscaping and plants and greenery, it could actually really work. So for the roof, thankfully is also free. So we can just choose whatever we like. Maybe just a darker color. And then all the roof trims are also free, which is good. Might just do a bigger white trim. I don't know if I'm in love with that, but I think, oh, hello. A little sneaky bit that's not painted. But yeah, I think we'll go with that. Now, next thing we've got to do is when you look underneath on these balconies, there is no ceiling and it looks a little silly. Most of the time it doesn't really matter because you'll be looking at it like this, but it's something that I always try to make sure I account for. So when we have a roof over it, it doesn't automatically put floor there. And thankfully flooring is free. So we just grab a flat square, we put it here and we just cover up this gap. And I'm going to do the same at the front here, but it's a smaller piece. So I'm going to put it here so it overlaps and I'll just drag it back in like this. And then that means now, even though it's just a plain white, it is a ceiling there. We don't see through like a hole or anything. So that's much better. Okay, what can we actually furnish this place with? Let's get the stuff that we need, we cannot live without. We cannot have a house without. We can do fridges and there's not a lot of choice here. We basically have to go with the cheapest because anything other than that, I think we're gonna run out of money. So I've designed this space to be for the kitchen counters and all that. So I might put this, it is an odd space because obviously you can see the grid actually lines up here, but I think given that the fridge is a little bit smaller than a full grid, we might be able to sort of figure something out. But for now, let me just put it over there. I think I'll probably just do plain white on this and we'll figure it out. Now, the kitchen counters are also mandatory, pretty expensive if you want anything other than the default. But thankfully, in years past, I've added a lot more colors to these, so they do look a lot better. I think for now, I know it's bland and boring. I'm just gonna do plain white. Let's do 3 of those because I'll probably end up having a corner here somewhere. I think the stove will go there, which is another thing we need, which the cheapest goes from 400 all the way up to 1,000. So we definitely have to go to the cheapest here because our budget is super low. Now we still need somewhere to wash up. So we could either do a sink or a dishwasher. Dishwasher is definitely not worth it at this price point. The cheapest sink is $125, but I mean, it's not a great kitchen sink, is it? Also because it says bathroom sink. Not that that matters, but we'll do that one. It's only $5 more. It looks a bit better for a kitchen. Not a great kitchen layout. We might change that, but look, we're on a budget, all right, folks? All right, bathrooms. We definitely need 2 toilets because we want one downstairs. We want one upstairs. We'll figure out the layout in a second. Bathroom sinks. This again is the cheapest and the cheapest. And then we need, I think we're gonna not have a shower down here. I think this is the bathroom downstairs because I can't afford, I don't think, to do a shower down here and upstairs. And I think upstairs, A bathtub would be good, but I'm not gonna do one because you can see how much more expensive it is, $845 versus $375. But there is clearly room in this bathroom to add like a shower and a bath and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna leave it like that. That's done. Again, we still can do decorations and colors and adjustments and all that, and we will. Hopefully we can do some decorations, even if they're free decorations. The next thing we definitely need are beds. So these are also pretty ugly. So we got to do what we can do, you know, and that's all we can do. So I'm thinking the bed in this room would go here, and then the idea is that this could either be an ensuite or a nursery, which we can maybe... A bassinet is $150. That is expensive. The travel crib is cheaper. I wonder if we just put that in here. So then it's like, oh yeah, that's a nursery. Okay, I get it. Cute. We could play with colors and stuff later. All right, beds over here. We can go down to $240. Again, this is a starter home, all right, folks? Get 2 kids' beds. Sure, I'll figure out colors later. All right, looking good. Well, looking. It's looking. All right, couches, $290, $180. If we go, so basically right now we would have maybe 4 Sims, possibly 5 if you did have a baby. Now, having said that, obviously, if you have an infant here, there's no other infrastructure for the infant. We don't have like a potty, not that they need it yet, that's the toddlers, but you know, we don't have that, we don't have a bath, etc. So you would need to get that stuff. That's not my problem. That ain't my problem. So living room, I think we'd want a space as like a family. If we can have, I think like a area here where you'd have a TV would be good. And then like here could be like school projects, which I guess we don't have in base game, but you know, that kind of stuff, bookcase. How much is this? $45? Because I really want a table in the hall here. Like I really wanted something as you come in. I think maybe it's a nice wood, yeah. And then I actually want another one. Can we get, because I feel like it just kind of adds, it's not a great spot with all these doors here though. Maybe the other way around is better? Oh, we could do it this way actually. Because then I could have like a TV there in the corner. That actually might work. But before we go splurging on TVs, which would be nice to have, and also a computer would be good to have because that's something that you kind of always need in Sims. Let's see if we can do some dining. So our dining table, we probably want to do like a 2x1 size table, which the cheapest is going to be $220, which is not that bad actually. I guess the bigger problem with a lot of this stuff is it all looks really basic, which is fine, but then the whole house ends up looking a little basic. So hopefully we can make them look a little bit more interesting with colors and all that, which again, I have not really gone through and done colors, so fingers crossed we can really elevate it. We'll see. So dining chairs, the cheapest is this. we can do that, but that does not look good. There's also the children's chair, which not great either. But we really can't be splurging on dining chairs because it's a shame they do, this I would definitely get. But that is $135 per chair. Whereas this one is $50 per chair. This is $30 per chair. Maybe, dude, does that have like a, could we get away with this? I think it's the fact that I know that they're kids' chairs. I would change the flooring, I think. I think the problem is it all being the same color. But can we afford... God, this rug. Oh, actually what I could do, instead of a rug, we could use flooring. Yeah, okay. It doesn't fit as well, but it's definitely an option we can use. I was kind of hoping there'd be a more orangey, like rusty color, because that would go nicely with the blue, but we have red. Oh, we could do it the other way around. What if the walls go to the orangey, rusty color? Oh, wait, do we have that here? We might not have that color here either. Wait. Oh, God, no. No. Good Lord, no. I think something that's not helping is maybe, well, that's not a great color, but we got a huge wall over this side. I kind of feel like we need to do something about it. So maybe in the kitchen, if we do that window there, and then I do, because then it'll sort of hopefully be balanced on this side of the house, like on looking on the outside. Like we got the window there, and actually, well, let me look, hang on. From the inside, it would make sense if I can get it here. Okay. Could I do something similar up here? Means the windows are kind of over there, which is kind of odd. It also makes more sense if I rotate the table too, so it's kind of fits on this rug better. Okay, well, let's not worry about lining up the windows then, because that's just not practical, because it looks a little silly. So I think we could probably do one window over this side instead. And then hopefully, permitting budget, we might be able to do some decorations in here. I don't mind the beigey color. I mean, it is very bland. That's why we need decorations, but we'll see. We might need to change colors. So let's not worry about that right now. I think I might actually change my plan. I think I'm actually gonna make the stairs part of this room. The reason being is then we can remove this wall, save a bunch of money. think we'll do an archway there so it feels more open. Otherwise, I think it's a little closed in. But I'm still going to keep the stairs open just so we can save money on not having a wall there. And let's get the cheapest railing that fits our style, because I don't want to spend too much, but it also does need a mat. Oh God, no. Does need a mattress. I don't think this really, I don't love that for this. So I believe that fence is this one, so I'll use the same one up here. And these stairs only have white, black, or green, so not great. I guess I'll just leave them white, because then it matches the trim anyway. I suppose maybe the white railing would be better then. I was just changing the color to mix it up, but I don't think it really works in that case, because we've got all the white trims everywhere. Oh, and I suppose we don't need a right railing at all, do we? So let's get rid of that. If only that would save money, that'd be great, wouldn't it? All right, well, you also don't need two doors here. I just moved one out of the way. Let's do that. So the other thing we could potentially do is, because we do have a lot of space down here. Like we could, eventually, obviously you'd want the kitchen to be bigger, but we could even just move the dining table into this area for now, because there is nothing else in here. And then this could be another either sitting room or like library study area, because you've got so much space, which I actually think is pretty good. So I might leave the dining there for now though. And I think as far as layout goes and budget saving, I think I'm actually gonna remove this wall for these bedrooms. So it is one giant bedroom, but that will save money on the wall and the door. We can still have it as two single beds. So it can still be a shared space, but I will probably just do the same wall throughout. And then with layout changes as well, I think I'm gonna reduce this bathroom size, because first of all, we don't need it to be that big right now. But it doesn't really make as much sense, because before I had a wall there, it was going to be a nursery or an ensuite. But because I removed the wall, it kind of just is a bit awkward now. It's like, why is it like that? So we might as well simplify it, save the money in the process. That also gives us more options for this room in terms of layout, which we'll have a look at in a minute. And it makes this room also not feel as big and empty, and saves money. So we're now still the same size house, but we have extra money, to play with. The next thing I'm going to do before we do any more furnishing and styling is actually do the actual lighting, because we have a lot of these lights sitting around the place. We're not going to be using all of these. So let's get the final lighting we actually want to use so we know what our budget is. Now these lights are like some of the cheapest and some of the best in my opinion. So I will definitely be using these, especially in the bathroom and in the kitchen. I'll just do one. We'll try, oh wait, hang on. Is that as much as it did? Wait, that looks way darker. I feel like is that even on? Wait, why does it get so dark when it's wait, what? It gets really dark when it's there, but when it's here, it provides more light. Interesting. And then the living room, what I would like to do is, if we can afford it, is like a lamp. I feel like that just makes it feel, well, actually, if any of these lamps look nice, is the problem. We are in base game. So it's kind of hard. Or a wall light, perhaps? Curtains would also be a great touch. They're pretty expensive. Oh, these are $200. I love these ones because you got a bit of the sheer, and if you go along, you can get sort of these more basic swatches, which I guess don't look great maybe with because they got plain white blue, but there's some sort of more plain colors in here, like the greens and the blues. But having said that, they're $200, so that ain't happening. Because I was just trying to figure out how we can do a nice space. I know I just changed out the carpet, but I think what I was gonna do is maybe do something similar to the other room where I use the carpet as a rug. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to do a nice cozy space on a budget. That also doesn't look really, this is all blue, I know. That doesn't look really bland. And also because like, bringing in nice warm lighting as well, like through lamps and all that, can help a lot if it looks nice. And I think that's kind of nice. Or maybe that one's better. It doesn't provide that much light. Actually, the other thing we could do is with debug mode on, we can get these lights, which may look, you might be like, oh, that doesn't look good. But let me just find one that I actually like the brightness of. Kind of lighting up more of the walls than I'm trying to light the floor, not the ceiling game. Well, if I put it there-ish, if I go to live mode, that you can't actually see that in live mode. So it's like an invisible light you only see in build mode. So it means we can get some lighting for free if it is really too dark. Because like that space there is way too dark, and I don't want to spend more on lighting if I don't have to. All right, well, I'll keep working on that. We'll come back to it. But now let's sort out this. This is ridiculous. If you're sitting on this couch facing this way, and the door opens, the toilet is right there. So let's maybe move that. It doesn't open onto the toilet. Probably a nicer layout. You could just do something like that for now. And then eventually the idea would be you could put like a counter in here with a bigger setup. The toilet's just over there, that's fine. Now the walls in here, there's far too many tiles and stuff going on here. In fact, I don't even know if you really need tiles in here because it's only a toilet and a sink. Like I feel like you could probably just get away with a wallpaper or like a paint that has a nice sheen to it. because it's not like you're having a big splash around in here. But how do I make it not look like like an unfinished room? That is so bad. Well, I think we could do the same blue, which I think is fine. And then I was like, maybe, could we do like the sort of shiplap paneling? I don't want to do it on too many walls. Maybe just the one wall even. I don't know, just to make it something different. Is saving the $24 on the floor really worth it? Than doing like a nicer tile or something? I'm not sure, but we'll leave it for now. Let's get a little mirror at least. I don't know if I love the setup of this because like if you're sitting here, you're like looking at the front door. Like that just kind of seems strange. Maybe that should just be a solid door there rather than an archway. Like I like it being an archway, but I think it maybe should be a door. Over the dining table, I think, could we do like, what does this look like? It's at least something interesting. And then I was thinking maybe in the entranceway, could we do like a wall light perhaps? Again, just for something a bit different, some different kind of lighting. What's the cheapest wall picture? This, a mural. If I scale it down. Okay, that's not great. That is not a good front entrance thing. Is this for 50 bucks? I don't mind that if we scale it up. It's not the best looking thing in the world. Maybe not the same wood. I think I need to do a different frame color. It's a darker one. Sure. Okay. There's something there when you come in now. Okay, I'm just trying a different layout. The door is maybe not ideal, sort of just there in the corner, but it just still wasn't really working having all that sort of squished over here. So maybe if we moved it over this way, then this can also just be used for the TV, which they're not cheap. $500. That's expensive. I may have to get rid of that. But for now it is there. There's still plenty of room to walk here at least. Maybe not ideal that the way you get to the kitchen is in front of the TV, but you know, it is what it is. So starter home. Then that leaves this area for the kids stuff, which how much is, oh my gosh. Oh, this is $170, this is actually really cheap, $170, heck yeah. I think the question is, do we do like kids stuff here or up in their room? Because they do have a lot of space in their room. I'm not sure yet. How much is this rug, 110? Not too bad. Seeing if we can afford curtains, because I feel like that might help the space a bit. My big problem I think right now is this huge wall. It's just like, because there's no way that divides these two spaces. It just kind of, it doesn't feel right. Like it's just this big room. Like we need something, maybe what we need, there's not any great armchairs here. I was gonna say we need like maybe a chair here that sort of divides the space a bit. Honestly, the biggest problem is the base game furniture itself. Like just finding something that looks nice. Like I wanna do like a chair here so you could have it like facing the others, but just like, that is not a good chair. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that. I've sort of played around with that a little bit. I really got to figure out what to do on this wall because I think the problem is, especially when you're playing cutaway walls, that's the wall we're seeing. Again, maybe the answer is just another window. I was trying to figure out if we could break up the space a bit, but it's just like I want to use bookcases or something, but there's no easy way to do that. I don't want to really add another wall because it's going to cost a lot of money, but also I don't think we need another wall. I don't think that's terrible. I think it's nearly there. But we're doing okay with budget, so I'm kind of happy with where we're heading. Let's go to the kitchen and see if we can refine this space now, because it's just been this blank area. We don't even have a bin, actually. We should probably get the required stuff we need. So I might get a little inside bin, and then we'll need an exterior bin as well, which is very expensive, but that's okay. Thinking maybe we can, I don't know, I'll put it here for now. I don't love it there, but let's just get it in so we have it, because it is quite expensive. Okay, so the kitchen area, even though we've got a dining area there, I wouldn't mind like a breakfast table, but I guess then it's gonna bring up the issue of dining chairs again, which actually, and these tables are very expensive. So maybe there's something else we can do in the kitchen. I might change these windows maybe to smaller ones, so then I could have counters on this wall too. Counters are expensive, but they do make it feel like there's more going on than there really is. You could do a couple windows like that, which is the same price as what we had before, but just now above the counters there instead. Then I can just put the little bin here. You know what? I might actually use one of these, which we've been using a lot of. It might seem weird, but I'm gonna put it here. So it's almost like an island. I don't know if I like that or not. I mean, I kind of do, but maybe it's better just to use it like over here. But it kind of makes the kitchen feel more like it's in this space without having to get counters, which are expensive and take up more space. Ooh, can we put a smoke alarm actually? We can, and maybe a burglar alarm. Although we'd need one there and also one in this room. Look, I'll get him in, but they may need to be adjusted. Okay, so we have a lot of space here, which is fine. I think that it leaves room for you to grow into the kitchen. We could potentially do a desk somewhere, which I think, so interestingly, if you want to save money, this desk costs $300. Now it is technically different from a dining table because the chair, as you can see, goes in the middle. However, the dining table is only $220. So it is actually cheaper. I wonder if we could maybe that's what we needed in here. Although I don't know if I love it there. I might prefer this in a bedroom if we can even afford it, which currently actually we can't afford a computer, but we could afford maybe like a desk and a chair. I might need to get rid of this. Yeah, because we could have like a little desk up here, which by the way, actually I've got no lights up here. Let's do that. All right, well, we might forego the burglar alarm, so I think that's too much money. But I guess overall, I'm pretty happy with the downstairs. I just want to figure out what to do there. But back upstairs, this is a little sad. Maybe we just want to do like a stronger color. So we could just do something like that, 2 different colors. I would love to do more stuff. I got $100 left. If there's anywhere I can shave budget, that'd be good. But there's like nothing in the double bedroom really. We don't have any dresses either anywhere. It's not something you need in The Sims, but it's sometimes nice. I mean, I suppose we could get rid of the crib. If I get rid of the crib, can I afford ideally, yeah, a dresser. I can afford a kid's dresser. Because if I get rid of that, I need to put something else here, but I don't think there's anything else that I can really afford there. I don't want to get rid of, you know what actually we do need a bookcase or somehow somewhere to read books, because right now we don't have that. Could do it here. I could put it right, could put it right in the middle, but I don't know if does that feel like, I don't know, that just kind of, something's not right about this. I might even, can I do this? I might do this. Because it just feels like too mirrored, which I don't really want it to be like. And I can still go over here. I actually don't like that this matches so much. Maybe I'll put that down here. Just an extra thing in this room. Can I save money anywhere else? Because I do want a little bit more furniture. I can start deleting like this stuff. That's only $50. Like, is there any walls we could save money on? Because upstairs is pretty big, but I don't really want to change the shape of it because I'm happy with the shape. The other thing we could do, maybe instead of an archway, we could just have this open. So save $50 and then save another $128. It looks messy though, and I don't love that. Maybe it should all be this color then instead, right? I don't hate that, but I don't think it's as nice, but it does save us quite a bit of money. I think I'll do a couple of nightstands. Not the best, but you know, it's what we can do and no more. I don't think I could do up here, perhaps. I don't think so. We've already simplified as much as we can up here. That I think has helped a lot, which is great. I actually don't, I don't mind that. I think it's growing on me a little bit. I would probably, if I had more money, maybe frame it out with like columns and stuff, but can't afford that right now. How much is that rug? $110. Could save that. Actually, that's not terrible. A little sort of jigsaw floor. I actually don't mind that. Does it look weird? Yeah, I think it's weird if you do diagonal because it's like they're sort of tiles you put down. Although it is also weird that if it's like that, it's part of another one that's just cut off, but ignore that bit. I wonder then if I should just do that. Could maybe also get rid of this, save money. I do like that little detail there, but I think we need to save a bit of money there. Okay. All right, I think that's still actually quite cute. Okay, so then we get $390. Still can't afford a different dresser. I can still do one of the kids' ones. Well, I don't need a dresser. Can I do something here? Because I feel like there should be something here. I mean, maybe it could be this down here, which I know is weird that it's a dresser, but then it's at least functional. Oh God, why does that have green knobs on it though? That kind of ruins it. It's kind of annoying. Who thought green was the choice to pair with that? You could have done like the gold or something. Because anyway, what I was thinking is that then it's like a piece of furniture in the kitchen. Later on, like change it to a breakfast nook or more of the kitchen, more counters or something. I mean, maybe I just move this. Oh, why can't I put it in the middle? That's annoying. Oh, maybe I just put it there. No, I like it better over there, way more. It's also really dark over there. Dang it, game. I mean, I can't afford another light, so maybe I'll just do that. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, the downstairs, I feel like it's pretty nice. It definitely needs more decorations and stuff. We do also have curtains. I could remove the curtains, because how much are those worth again? $70 each. It is pretty expensive, to be fair. You know what? Maybe I won't remove them, but maybe we could move them, because would that help up here? Because up here does not have a lot going for it. Does it harm down here if I remove them? Because I can do 2 up the top. Well, it'll be 4 in this room in total, because it's got like that. But maybe that just makes it feel, it kind of looks not great, does it? Because it's so long. Maybe it's just better. Hang on. I think we can just get cheaper ones. I mean, smaller ones, like these. Are these the same price? Oh, these are cheaper. Okay. So if we remove them from the living room, blue. I guess I don't have to have beige walls in this room, but I feel like it kind of worked. But maybe now that there's not much in here, more like that. It's like the darker. Actually, we've got 3 different blues up here. I just realized all 3 of these are different, but maybe that's better. I don't love it on these windows though. Maybe just not on those, maybe just there. And then I do feel like we probably just need more light in this room anyway. So I'm gonna get a smaller light there. make it warm tone. And then this light, and this overlay is also part of a mod, but you can do this in live mode. It will just look a little different. It just, with this mod, makes it so you can do it in build mode as well, which makes it so much easier. But you can do this exact same stuff in live mode. Although this mod does add a color wheel to the light, whereas in live mode, it's just these options here that you can choose without the mod. Yeah, make it a little bit darker because it was a bit bright otherwise. Okay, maybe some paneling because, oh, that's a little bit more expensive, but I think it might add at least something to the room. Panel on both sides? Why not? The bed doesn't have to be there anymore. I could actually move it here. It might make more sense, actually. But I guess in the future, you could add a bathroom somewhere. And do I want to leave those curtains there then? Or maybe I'll just get rid of them. Do we even need them? Save a bit of money? Maybe I'll just get rid of it. I had one light because that's all I could afford before. Maybe I'll just get rid of that actually as well. Save a bit of cash. Okay. I feel like I need something over here though. Well, actually, hang on. What's going on? I have a bit more cash now. Get rid of that. If I get rid of that, I've got $600. So I could actually get one that is not for kids for $400. That's kind of ugly though, because it's like all run down. Or I can do this one. You know what would be nice as well, if I can afford it? A mirror. $135. Wow, that is it. These are expensive. $205. I guess I'll just do the floor mirror. $70. All right, and then that leaves a bunch of floor space for other stuff. We could potentially, if I do this flooring, then maybe like this is carpet under the bed could be interesting. Although, oh wait, I just realized we have a paneled wall. That's that's very paneled. Unless we just swap it so the panel wall's only over there. I was just thinking just so that this, because this room is so big and long, which it was originally designed obviously to have that ensuite to it or a nursery. So it makes sense why it's this big, but why not like divide it up a little bit? Maybe, I don't know if I'm super sold on that. Maybe it is better this way. I only rotated it because of that wall, but yeah, that probably works better that way. Because then that line there looks a little bit neater. Okay. There's also no mirror in this bathroom upstairs. Can I afford another one? Let's see. I can. We don't have any like toilet paper on the, wait, where is that anyway? Is it in miscellaneous? Toilet paper, but these are like 50 bucks each. I'm not putting those in. Sorry. They don't need it. They're not getting it. All right, 133 left. It's pretty good. We still have a TV. We've got the bookcase. We've got an area for the kids. We've got the full kitchen and dining area. And a lot of room in here to expand. Look, it's a little empty there, but I think that's okay for a starter home. We've got 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, but up to 4 sims. Like, and it's easily divisible into 3 bedrooms and then a nursery as well. So I think I'm pretty happy with the inside. Like, I would love to add more details and more decorations, but considering the budget, what we've been able to get out of it, and a space that I think is pretty flexible, pretty easy to change and add on to. Not bad. Now, what can we do outside? That's the question. Thankfully, all terrain painting is free. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble. Let's do a nice brick pathway, maybe. There you go. Well, so where's our mailbox? There it is. I don't love that one. Let's just get the sort of normal-ish looking one. Now, thankfully, with live edit, we have some fences that are completely free. The problem with these, I mean, they don't look amazing. But I would say we probably don't need that much of a fence. I just kind of wanted like a little something at the front. A little blurry though. Because the thing is with these is they're designed to be like in the distance in the world, you know? In fact, actually, I think that's one of them there. Although that is still pretty blurry. That's surprisingly blurry. That's this fence right here that we have. Surprisingly blurry. All right, whatever. Let's use this. We'll decorate it with like plants and stuff. So I'm gonna put one here. Oh, they don't line up that way. That's kind of annoying, but we'll figure that out in a second. We'll just flip it the other way and then we'll get the end piece. Flip the end piece around too. Kind of, yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. I'm leaving a hole. Okay, hang on. It needs to be, oh. Hang on. There you go. That's how it should be. Okay. I think just like a little like that is fine. And then the other problem with these fences is if you look where the little green like placement grid is, that basically means a sim is going to be able to just walk straight through this. If I just leave it like this, they'll just walk straight through it. So we're going to block that by using some other stuff. Well, these are cute actually. I like this. So this looks like it's not going to let my sim just walk straight through it. So, and I actually kind of like how it looks with the fence in it. I don't know if maybe it's a little silly in reality because it's like a flower box with a border on it, but I kind of like the look of it. So I'm gonna roll with it. I'm also gonna move my mailbox, I think, to maybe like in here. Like they might not technically be able to get to it, but it'll still work, so. All right, look at this, free. Oh, these are cute. Oh, this is nice too, I like these. I don't know where I'm gonna put them, but I like them. And then now it's just a matter of like adding bushes and shrubbery and stuff around the house. Because the bottom is gray, which I like I said, I kind of like the look of the gray, but I still think it will be elevated with greenery and flowers and all that. So that's basically what we're gonna do now. It's just cover it in plants. I really like this bush actually, and I actually quite like it there. I definitely think we need some trees too. Let me have a look. We have these trees out the front, so I don't want to overdo it on this particular lot, but these trees always, I feel like these always make the house look expensive. I don't know, they seem like intentionally planted and kind of fancy. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I place those in the same spot, but I like that. I think it just needs to be there. And I think they're the same position. Sweet. I'll just rotate it a little bit different. Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of makes it look fancy. I'll take it. Maybe it's not fancy, but I think it looks good. And down the side, we'll just do some bushes. I really like this flower bush. I'll get one of those too. I'm gonna put this in here. So it's almost like a little flower bed. And we'll do some terrain painting and all that to bring all this together. Oops, that one, there's one that cost money. I didn't mean to do that. We don't spend money. I can't afford it. Could actually use these as like, I don't know if I want to, but just as like a natural fence. Have a look. I'm not fully placing them around like this. I'm just kind of placing them out first, and then we're going to remove some. Like I would probably do it like, do something like that, but I think that would only work maybe if we have a tree there too. Ooh, I like this tree. I don't know, I think it looks kind of weird. It just seems unnecessary, so I think I'll get rid of it. We could maybe do like a fence. I feel like a fence here could work, like that, and then it like matches that fence over there. Now again, the problem is people can just walk straight through this, so we'll have to do some hedges there as well, which I think is where those hedges will come in handy that we were just playing around with. These ones. Wait, no, those are the ones we pay for. These ones are free. We want the free ones. I don't want it fully just this hedgerow, so we're gonna use some other plants as well in here. Oops, that's money, sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Let's get another one of these ones. This is one of my faves at the moment. Kind of like this tree too, maybe that one. It looks a little random there. Let's get rid of that. It's looking like we have a tree in each corner of the house, which I think is a little silly, so let's not do that. I don't want these to look like perfectly manicured hedgerows, so I'm trying to add some other, oh, whoops, I just spent some money. What did I just buy? Oh, that one. So I'm trying to add some other like shrubs in here just to give it a different shape. Because I still want it to be like that hedgerow, but not all like perfect. In fact, I might remove that bit and then like add some other plants in. Just get the little end cap. Okay, so we have like a little sort of frame to the garden, so you kind of get an idea of it. Now, we don't have any like decking, because of course that costs money. How much does this cost? Ooh, I can't afford to do it. That is really expensive. The reason I was asking is because that's what's at the front. We could do it on the front porch, perhaps, or just paint that red. That actually is not too bad. I don't mind that. But around the back, I mean, maybe we just leave it concrete. You'd have to pay for something else later. I don't even think I can really put any furniture there, to be honest. I think it's just that you've got space. You can use it when you got money, you know? All right, let's paint some different colored terrain around the place so it's not all perfect and green. Just a little bit through there. Let's do a little bit through there. And then under this tree as well for sure. And through these. Maybe a little bit much there, so I'll remove a bit. This one I actually painted a little bit darker on purpose because I kind of wanted that to be almost like an intentional flower bed that they've put like some mulch or something down in. So that's why it's a little bit darker, a little bit more intentional there. And then the rest is just, I'm just lightly, well, not that, lightly sort of coming through here. That's not that light, but it does have a fence line and bushes all over it, so it probably wouldn't be that grassy. I guess it would have tall grass there unless you cut it, but anyway, you get the idea. Okay, well that is our starter. And of course, this is all base game, so I think that's come out pretty well. I think that's pretty nice. Like, it's nothing like amazing, but I feel like I put a lot of effort in this to make sure it was actually useful. We got the books, we got the TV. There's no computer. Computers are always very expensive. However, this is the money we're gonna have with one sim. When you start with more sims, you actually get a little bit more money. So why don't we see how much we actually end up with if we move a family of 4 in here? So we're gonna have 2 adults and we'll just do 2 children to see how much money we actually start with. But you can buy this as a single sim quite easily. Well, I say easily, you have $100 left. So you have to work for it, but it is possible. So when we move in with a family of 4, we actually start with $26,000. So we end up with an extra $6,000 as well, of course, which means you could come in and then immediately decorate how you wanted. Now, if you want to see me actually build like a starter home with the budget for the number of sims that would be appropriately living there, let me know in the comments down below, because I don't know if I've really done that. Whenever I do a starter home, it's always 20,000. But maybe we should do a family starter home with the budget they'll actually have. Because I think if we use that extra $6,000, we would then have the decorations, we'd probably have the computer and all that kind of stuff, and extra bits and pieces just to sort of round it out. But I think for a starter home under 20,000 that a single sim could buy, I'm actually really happy with this. I actually really like the front of the house. I think it came together really well. And in general, I think it's very simple, but I really quite like it. And it's all base game, of course. So if you want to download this house, I will link it down below. Otherwise, you can find it on my gallery, James Turner YT. Again, it is base game, so no matter what number of packs you have, if any, it'll work. And it's a starter home, so no matter how many Sims you have, you can live in it. So I think this house hopefully has some good potential to grow and expand with you and your Sims. But let me know how you go. Thank you so much to my top level members for supporting the channel, and thank you so much for watching. Do let me know if you want to see me do like a starter home with the higher budget, and if we should use any packs of that, or if that should also be base game, because I think I definitely should try out some different things. But thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time, and have an awesome day.